Oh, hello there. I'm Bilchan.
I'm Nimikung.
I'm Banchan.
In this class, I'll read to all of you. Chapter 4, Section 2 of A Tale of Two Cities, book the first recalled to life.
As.
Ah.
A Tale of Two Cities, book the first recalled to life. Charles Dickens. Chapter 4, Section 2. And thundered at the cliffs, and brought the coast down. What day? How suppose sick fish went up to be dipped in it, as sick people went down to be dipped in the sea. A little fishing was done in the port, and a quantity of strolling about by night, and looking seaward, particularly at those times when the tide made, and was near flood. Small tradesmen, who did no business whatever, sometimes unaccountably realised large fortunes, and it was remarkable that nobody in the neighbourhood could endure a lamplighter. As the day declined into the afternoon, and they, which had been at intervals clear enough to allow the French coast to be seen, they came again charged with mist and vapour. Whist. Laurie's thoughts seemed to cloud too, when it was darked, and he sat before the coffee room fire, awaiting his dinner as he had awaited his breakfast. His mind was busily digging. They didn't. In the live red coals. Home. Otherwise than as it has a tendency to throw him out of work. Whist. Laurie had been idle a long time. Complexion who has got to the end of a bottle. When a rattling of wheels came up the narrow street, and rumbled into the inn yard, he set down his glass untouched. This is Mansell, said he, arrived from London, and would be happy to see the gentleman from Towson's. Miss Minette had taken some refreshment on the road, and required none then, and was extremely anxious to see the gentleman from Towson's immediately, if it suited his pleasure and convenience. An air stolid desperation. Settle his little flaxen would get theirs, and follow the waiter to Miss Minette's apartment. It was a large, dark room, furnished in a funeral manner with black horsehair, and loaded with heavy dark tables. These had been oiled and oiled, gloomily reflected on every leaf, as if they were buried in deep graves of black mahogany. But the obscurity was so difficult to penetrate that Mr. Ori, picking his way over the well-worn Turkey carpet, supposed Miss Minette to be, for the moment, in some adjacent room, until, having got past the two tall candles, he saw standing to receive him by the table between them and the fire a young lady of not more than 17, in a riding cloak, and still holding her straw travelling hat by its ribbon in her hand. As his eyes rested on a short, light, pretty figure, a quantity of golden hair, a pair of blue eyes that met his own with an inquiring look, and a forehead with a singular capacity remembering how young and smooth it was, of rifting and knitting itself into an expression that was not quite one of perplexity, or wonder, or alarm, or merely of a bright fixed attention, though it included all the four expressions as his eyes rested on these things. A sudden vivid likeness passed before him, very gentle, one cold time, when the hail drifted heavily and the sea ran high, the likeness passed away, like a breath along the surface of the gaunt pier glass behind her, on the frame of which a hospital procession of Negro cupids, several headless and all cripples. He made his formal bow to Miss Manette. "Pray take a seat," in a very clear and pleasant young voice, a little foreign in its accent, but a very little indeed. "I kiss your hand." "This," said Mr. Lorry, with the manners of an earlier date, as he made his formal bow again, and took a seat. "I received a letter from the bank. Yesterday. The word is not material. As respecting the small property of my poor father. Mr. Louis moved in his chair and cast a troubled look towards the hospital procession of Negro cupids, as if they had any help for anybody in their absurd baskets. Rendered it necessary that I should go to Paris, there to communicate with a gentleman of the bank, as I was prepared to hear. She curtsied him. Young ladies made curtsies in those days. Wiser he was than she. He made her another bow. I replied to the bank, that as it was considered necessary by those who know, and who are so kind as to advise me, that I should go to France. Then I should esteem it highly if I might be permitted to place myself, during the journey, under that worthy gentleman's protection. The gentleman had left London. I was happy, said Mr. Lorry, to be entrusted with the charge. I thank you indeed. I thank you very gratefully. Details of the business, and that I must prepare myself to find them of a surprising nature. I have done my best to prepare myself. Naturally, said Mr. Lorry, after a pause. He added, again settling the crisp facts and wig at theirs. He did not begin, but, in his indecision, at a glance, the young forehead lifted itself into that singular expression, but it was pretty and characteristic. Besides being singular, and she raised her hand, as if with an involuntary action she caught at, or stayed some passing shadow. Are you quite a stranger to me? Am I not? Reste. Blurry opened his hands and extended them outwards with an argumentative smile, between the eyebrows and just over the little feminine nose, the line of which was as delicate and fine as it was possible to be. She had hitherto remained standing. He watched her as she mused, and the moment she raised her eyes again, went on, in your adopted country, to be continued.